Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to do some more decimal practice. So, let's think about this problem. 4 and 24 hundredths divided by 2 equals n. So what would that equal? So I'm dividing that by a whole number, and so I'm thinking I'm going to estimate. So 4 and 24 hundredths is close to 4. So if I have 4 divided by 2, I know that's close to 2. And it's going to be a little more than that, isn't it? Because I also have the 24 hundredths. So that's going to help us when thinking about it. So that is our estimate. I have to think about what is a reasonable answer. So let's think about dividing this. So I'm thinking 2 times something would be close to 4 and 24 hundredths. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 because I know 2 times 2 is 4. So what would I have left? 24 hundredths. So 2 times 12 I know is 24, but I know 2 times 12 hundredths is 24 hundredths. I can also think about even that repeated addition, 12 hundredths plus 12 hundredths is 24 hundredths. And now I'm left with a remainder of 0. So what did I add together? What do I add together? How many times did I multiply 2 times? I multiplied 2 and 12 hundredths. Now, when I'm thinking about this, I want to make sure that I'm adding the right place value. So that wouldn't be 14, would it? Because that's not 12 wholes, that's 12 hundredths. So the total is 2 and 12 hundredths. So 4 and 24 hundredths divided by 2, or divided in half, is 2 and 12 hundredths. Is that a reasonable answer, thinking about our estimate? Yes, it's just a little over 2, isn't it? Let's look at our next one. 3 and 75 hundredths divided by 5/10. You can pause the video and do this one on your own, and then come back. So, because this is dividing by a decimal, I'm going to think, to make it easier, I'm going to multiply each one by 10. And thinking of the powers of 10, if I have 3 and 75 hundredths, and I multiply that by 10, I now have 37 and 5/10. Divided by, if I have 5/10 and I multiply that by 10, I now have 5. So now I want to divide this by 5. So what is a reasonable answer? What do you think we could just estimate? So 37 is close to 38. And if I divide that by 5, what would that be close to? Well, 35. 5 times 7 would be 35. So it's going to be a little over 7. So I'm going to say that it's more than 7. But because 5 times 7 equals 35, but I'm also going to say that it's less than 8. How do I know that? Because 5 times 8 equals 40, and it's not quite 40, is it? So I think it's going to be between 7 and 8. So let's find out. So we have 37 and 5/10, and I'm going to divide that by 5. So I know that 5 times 7 is 35. And how much would I have left? So that's 5/10. 2 wholes and 5/10. 2 and 5/10. So what would I multiply to get 2 and 5/10? I know that 5 times 5 is 25. So 5 times 5/10 is 2 and 5/10. So how many times did I multiply 5 times? Get my pen back out. So 7 and 5/10. So that means 37 and 5/10 divided by 5 equals 7 and 5/10. Now, let's look back at our estimate. So we said that it was going to be more than 7, but less than 8. Is 7 and 5/10 a reasonable answer? Yes, it is. Let's practice another one. Now I have 27 and 1800ths divided by 3. You can pause the video and practice this one and come back and we'll do it together. So I have 27 and 1800ths, and I'm going to divide it by 3. What do you think this is close to? Well, I know that 3 times 9 equals 27, but 3 times 10 would be 30. So I think it's going to be more than 9, but less than 10. So let's get started. So thinking about that estimate, that's really going to help me to get started, because 3 times 9 is 27. And let's subtract. And now I have 1800ths left. Well, I know that 3 times 6 is 18. So 3 times 6/10 would be 1 8/10, but 3 times 6/100 would be 18/100. So, how many times did I multiply 3 times? 9 6/100. So 27 18/100 divided by 3 equals 9 6/100. Great job today, boys and girls, solving dividing decimal problems.